Hey everyone, it's Ultra Podcast Z. JD is like, Manuel, are you really ready this time? And I didn't want to tell him because I just wanted to go live, but no, I was not ready. Hold on. Give me.
Manuel, I asked you like 5 times.
He really did. I want everyone to know that he really asked me. And that this is probably like, I feel like it's that meme where it's like, this is why I have trust issues.
Manuel,
Like,
you're the
I.
only saving grace is that I already had those issues beforehand. You're just exacerbating them.
Oh wait, they're coming out. They're putting Battletoads and Double Dragon on the fucking the Switch Pass or whatever you call that, the online. Oh, it's today. I used to love For those who never played it, Battletoads Double Dragon is like the game where Battletoads and Double Dragon team up, and I used to own that game on like every console that it came out on, but specifically I had the Game Boy one, and I remember I was playing it in my locker room like in like sixth grade around that time ish or so, and someone broke into my locker and stole my Game Boy in the game.
Damn.
Yeah, that's my Battletoads Double Dragon story. So whenever I think about that game, I used to love that game. I think the game's terrible now. I'm sure it's like, does anyone like mid tier Double Dragon or Battletoads?
Um, I mean, I played some beat 'em ups back on the Super Nintendo and on the NES back in the day. I'm not really the biggest beat 'em up fan. Well, I guess Scott Pilgrim also counts, but I mean, I actually never got around to Battletoads. I only played like the Teenage Mutant Turtles game.
I didn't think I had this many Battletoads stories. So okay, get this. So this is we might have still been elementary school. This was probably sixth grade-ish around the same time. I used to have Battletoads for the NES, and I
Mhm.
let my friend borrow it. And I remember he was bringing it back to me, and he was riding his bike to my house. And I think we were meeting each other halfway, if I remember correctly. Because I wanted the game. I was like, I'll meet you. He's like, I don't want to go all over to your house on my own. I'm like, fine, I'll meet you halfway, but I'm not riding a bike. So you have to like walk with me. And he's like, that's fine. Just meet me halfway. So I meet him halfway. And as I'm like, where the fuck is he? He's not here. But I know the way we walk together. So I just kept walking. So I'm like,
Mhm.
I'll run into him eventually. And when I walk another block or two, I see him like getting out the street, like dusting himself off because he just got hit. Well, he didn't get hit by a car. He just got
Oh
a
God.
car. A car almost hit him. He jumped out the way. And I was like, "Oh my god!" It's like, "What happened?" He's like, "Man," it's like, I didn't see it happen, but I kind of saw the aftermath, and I was like, "What happened?" And he explained the story to me, and I'm like, "Wait, where's the game?" He's like, "You got."
That was your priority, Manuel.
Yes, and in case you're wondering, yes, the game got run over. I was so upset. I was like,
Manuel,
no, and he is fucked up. Like even though he didn't get hit, he like literally like dove out the way, and his clothes are all like all messed up. His arm was scraped because he like he dove, and, and I'm like, he's like, you're not even gonna ask if I'm okay, and I'm like, but the game.
Manuel, you're the kind of person to grab the necklace first in Chrono Trigger.
Yeah. And I should also point out that that like this wasn't just like some random friend of mine either. This is probably somebody at the time I considered my best friend.
I
And
can see
I
why
was
you're
just
not
like,
friends
oh
anymore.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, why aren't we friends anymore? Isn't that funny?
Okay, Manuel,
But
what show
yeah,
is this?
hold on. And in case you're curious, in case you really have to know, we put that in the NES afterwards, and it still worked.
Hmm.
So if I still have that game, because I'm sure eBay wouldn't have taken that game. If I still have that cartridge floating around, because I still have a few random cartridges that somehow just survived with me, then I hope to show it one day because it's nice and smashed. Anyways, this is Ultra Smash Cast Z. I'm Manuel, leader of A to J Connections, and that's Josh. Say hi, Josh.
Hey, what's up? I'm for Taco Network chiming in. How's it going, everybody?
Have you ever had any funny game crash stories? Like,
Game crash? In your case, that's like a literal crash. Are we talking about like
I don't
what
know.
are we talking about? I'm playing the game and it freezes, or
Have you
what?
ever had any? Yeah, you ever had a game like? Are you one of those people who break your controllers when you get upset?
Oh no, no, those are too expensive. I can't do that.
Well, now they're too expensive, but like I don't think I ever broken a controller
Just
before,
just
but like,
because
yeah.
I didn't buy controls when I was a kid does not mean I'm gonna break them because like Do you know how awesome it is when your parents are like, "Yeah, here's your second controller," and you're like, "Dude, this is awesome," and it's like, "I'm not gonna break that."
Yeah, JD, you ever broken a controller when you're playing a game?
Not in anger, just in general use. Yes, like I have
How
plenty of.
many of your Switch Joy Cons have gotten drift?
Uh,
I thankfully haven't gotten that. I'm very thankful that
Really?
hasn't happened.
I think one, the right Joy-Con for my that though I still have the same set I had when I bought my Switch. The A
I,
button just only works like
To be
half the time now
to
because
be
I've used it so much.
I mean, to be fair, that's, like, from use, not like I got so upset that I actually broke the controller, so I think there's a big difference between, like, when it breaks because of that, or if it breaks due to defect and or actual use, you know?
Hmm.
that is true. I don't know, like I don't know if I just live in a dusty environment or what, but like I'm on like my third set of Joy Cons for my both of my sets of Joy Cons. If you follow what I mean, like I have two separate sets, and I've replaced each of them twice. Well, actually, I replaced one of them twice, and the other one needs to get replaced soon. And I even had to replace a Pro controller. So I am familiar with. Hey, shut up, JD! Don't tell them my secrets. As far as Amazon knows, it's still my first. Yes. Fun fact.
That's what you're doing.
I try to ship them to Nintendo and do it like the official way.
We live in a society where a PlayStation controller costs $250, like, I think we have gone too far off the deep end. This was probably the warning we were gonna get about the ridiculous buy the disc component separate for a PlayStation
Okay,
Pro.
thank you for reminding me about that. What are your thoughts on the PlayStation Pro?
We we crossed the line, like, we were already selling the supercomputer that was what's it called? The, uh the first generation one at around 500, gigabytes and stuff like that. I thought we were going in the right direction when I saw that at my Walmart, they were selling for $400 the Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Sony PlayStation 5 bundle, and I was like, "That's $400." I think we're going it's a disk drive, there we go, the disk drive version with the 2 games together. I thought we were and it had, 800 gigabytes. I'm like, I think no, not 800. It actually had a terabyte, but I guess maybe that translates to like 800 gigabytes,
Uh huh.
899 gigabytes for some. But like, um, yeah, no, I thought we were going in the right direction. You see, that's a super bundle at like $100 less, and then they pull out the Pro, and you're like, what happened? What what genuinely happened? You could actually buy yourself a computer that's more powerful. I mean, the only thing is like if you want to buy like a more advanced graphics card, maybe that will run you 1200, or maybe you'll get lucky and buy one at a time where it's on discount from that price to 800, 900. But you have to realize there are some people who may also think, why don't I just buy that new graphics card, add it to my existing computer, maybe adjust my what's it called?
Power supply.
Um yeah, maybe adjust my power supply and then we're good to go. But you're talking about buying a console that is like if you want the disk drive to run you almost 900 to 1K short of buying it in Portland, Oregon, what is going on?
It makes no sense to me because like with first of all, I know it's a meme to say, "Oh, the PlayStation has no games," but it really doesn't. Like there are so few exclusives. It's like laughable, and like there
Wait,
are.
no, the problem isn't the exclusives for it. The problem is that it's a horrible deal. Like
I
they have
mean,
good exclusives. Don't like they
no,
have
they
exclusives for in
what like
our time
Spider
and
Man,
age.
Stellar
Who,
Blade.
who's gonna burn through King? Who's gonna burn through Final Fantasy Rebirth like right away? That's a 40-hour
It's seen
game in our time
rebirth
and
from
place
other
of
things,
time.
or at least it will be if it's not already. Like pretty much all the Final Fantasies will be on other things if they're not already. I'm not sure.
I mean,
I feel
FF16
like
just hit today.
exactly. So I feel like Rebirth is already on PC, but I don't know. I don't know. Just judge me on that. But it will be, and a lot of PlayStation like similar to the Microsoft exclusives where they say that, but it's also on PC. Similar to a lot of Sony exclusives, they're it's ridiculous how they're still making games for the PS4. And there are still some multi-platform games that are coming out for the PS5 that
Hey,
are
hey,
also
that's not
coming out on
their
the Switch.
it's not their fault. It's the fault of all of the resellers who like were like, yeah, let's make this market so difficult that Sony has no incentivized way of releasing the newest games without having to release a PS4 equivalent.
I know that PS5, like, I mean, I know that PS5 has sold really well, and I don't think they're making up those numbers. But part of me feels like they have to be making up those numbers. How the fuck has it sold like 50 million units already? That just blows my mind. It's like, I don't know. I guess I know some people with the PS5, but it's just like, who the fuck's buying a PS5 and for what? I'm just really curious.
You see,
Um,
you get a P they buy it because they were promised PS5 versions of all their newly purchased PS4 games.
what I hate about PS5 or what I hate about what you just said is how big games are. Because like,
Okay, no, I have to agree with you on this one. I have to agree with you on this one. It is genuinely stupid how I already maxed out my PlayStation 5 on just a few
yes.
games,
Oh, you have a
and my
PS5.
I have both PS4, PS5. I wasn't saying that last part to be hyperbolic. I
I
literally
didn't know
mean
you had a
I was
PS5.
buying
Okay, keep going.
I was buying PS4 games, and they all said when you buy them new, okay? When you buy a PS4 game new, which was to the bane of Microsoft, not Microsoft, to the bane of GameStop. If you purchased a new game, you essentially were promised the PS5 version with it. So if I ever chose to buy a PS5, I could be like, whoop, all I have to do is now insert the disc, and I now get a PS5 version of this game. But I can't tell you how much I've had to like do that, have the game added, and then have to delete other things because it's just not like thank God for the digital library, but also fuck the digital library because this is the type of thing that if you just have to compare between the Xbox like Play Pass owners, uh, and anyone with a computer, you have such a huge library at your disposal. It's not by comparison. Maybe in the long run you will win the like, oh, I have the hardware versus the software that can go at any time. But we have to realize I'm only carrying PS4 software, and the PS5 could probably play the PS4 version, but otherwise it came with a free PS5 download that I don't have on my game console because I'm not playing that right now. I have to get back to it later. I'm still playing Persona 5, and I have other games that have already taken up the disk space. So it's kind of hard. You know what was cool? I could copy data that was on my PS4 onto my PS5. Guess how much of that I had to delete?
Gonna go 70%.
What? Yeah.
Like 70% of it. Like I literally was like I was like sad that I deleted my Persona 5 Royal stuff on my PS5, but only because it was like, well, I still have it on the PlayStation 4. So even if I lost out on all the memory, it doesn't really matter. It's still a PS4 game. There's not really any addition coming out of it.
I'm not
The
sure
one
what makes PS5 games so huge, or
what
like, or I shouldn't even say that because I guess I don't even know about PS5 that much. I should say I don't know what makes PS4 games so huge either. Like, what is Sony putting in some of these packs? I remember when I played Final Fantasy
uh
15, it
well,
was like
5
150 or 200 gigs, and on PC I think it's only like 50 or 60. And I think there is some you can. I think somebody told me something about like the 4K texture packs or some
yeah.
bullshit like that. And I'm like, why can't those be selectable just to be like, yeah, I don't want that shit.
Well, it's because you bought the future, but I have to say for the people who bought the future to the future, I genuinely feel that this is like I genuinely
What
feel
the
like this is where
fuck?
Sony has gone too far. All Sony had to really do was sell a inexpensive PlayStation 5 Slim Edition, and then keeping it at around the same price, if not $100 more, you then release your Pro. Okay, like I kind of genuinely feel like we knew this was going to happen. Eventually, we were going to get our slim versions. Eventually, we were going to get our pro versions. And the idea is that the slim version is just going to be a better version than the launch title at a cheaper price because that's what they always did. and then you would get your Pro at that sustained price. That's what they were doing with the PlayStation 4. The only reason any of them ever went higher was because they would be a special edition, like modded, not modded, but like, it'll have a special cover to it. It'll come
Yeah.
pre-downloaded with some games, and at the same time, the disk space was not crazy for what we already had were like amazing graphics. And now you have something where you can tell a difference between a PlayStation 4 game to a PlayStation 5 game when it's developed for it. Persona doesn't count. It's not stylized that way. When I went from my Devil May Cry 5 to Devil May Cry 5 special, um, the difference is very notable. The frame rate is very notable. It's kind of surprising when you kind of wonder why did it never run this good when we had the capability also on a PlayStation 4, I mean PS3, but like there is not a big jump to like Pro and the PlayStation 5. I don't understand what our case is unless if it's like, okay, let's see if we can go to like 8K and 129, like I don't know. I'm
FPS.
generally now at the space where I don't believe you benefit from getting a high level, and especially at that price makes it seem like you might as well start investing in just a PC, or for anyone who has invested in a PC, you might as well just invest in the next
Get a new
graphics card.
graphic card. Exactly. It's like just get another graphics card, or like in my case, just don't buy the PS5 Pro and just pay back JD and still
Yeah,
have some money left over.
you'd have like $60 left over. I'm adding on those stuff you owe me for
Fun.
AX, just in
It's
case the
not
math didn't
that
math.
much. I know you're supposed to say you're like making up. Are you adding interest? We'll discuss this
I
later.
added
But I
in
think that number
$40,
just.
Manuel.
I feel like that number just jumped up. Oh, it's only 700.
Yes,
Oh, I don't know why I thought it was 800.
it's
I guess
700.
I'm adding in my own numbers myself.
Yeah, it's
Well, 700 is still a lot
yes,
because I think it's 8. I think it's 800 because I think it's like what 60, 70
Oh
more
my
if you
gosh.
added the disc,
yeah,
the
Oh
and
disc
then
god,
drive.
another
the
like
Lulu
30
god.
for the stand.
The Lulu god, oh my god.
Well, I mean,
What even
I
what even will a 6 be? I feel that we're reaching a level of game
exactly.
where
I was gonna say like, what can a 6 be? It's like to just make the 5 Pro cheaper like in 3 years. But then again, can
I
they?
think
Because didn't the 5 vanilla go up in price at some point?
In Japan.
Like, yeah.
I
So
think
like exactly. So it's like, what the hell?
I
It went
think
up.
we've reached a different kind of point. More shadows, bro.
Yeah, it's going to be more shadows, more
More
details,
shadows.
Okay,
4K, high refresh rate. That's where it's probably going. As for the price increase in Japan, it was, I think, just due because the yen's so weak right now that it went up to compensate for that.
I
They're a
think
Japanese company.
Yeah,
I think
Isn't there
what we're
money already in
currently
yen? That just sounds greedy, like from an economic standpoint. Because
I
technically, they. Okay, never mind. I don't know if I explained that whole thing, but like it doesn't make sense. Anyways, go on, Josh.
I think we've this bleeds into a different problem. I feel that and I'm gonna be honest, I have a backlog of games that I purchased during the pandemic because supply chain, you know?
Uh-huh.
I have a lot of games that I could probably just be playing and I'm not playing because I'm working, and got other life stuffs scheming where I'm like, I don't have the regular time to play video games the way that I would like. It'd be cool if I could totally stream like for the rest of my days and play video games. That'd be super dope. But I don't have that audience yet, and it's really hard for me to build that audience. And but what I'm saying in a greater measure is, we all have an abundance of stuff sometimes. You Manuel had to sell a bunch of shit
Oh yeah.
also, even as a game collector. But I would love to get that audience. Thank you, but like the thing is that there are some people who feel that video games are probably not the best thing to look for in a partner, and I think that that's clickbait more than anything, but at least to probably people who are online all the time. But realistically, I'm just gonna have to agree with that post, whether if it was real or not. If you now have someone who decides they're gonna buy a PlayStation Pro, I there is that is a sunk cost. I feel that that should just be a red flag. only
Are
because
you saying you wouldn't date someone if they bought a PS5, or you would understand if somebody wouldn't date someone if they bought a, if like
if
their
they bought a
boyfriend bought a
PS5
PS5?
Pro, if like we can't just have people who are like people who are gonna say like I'm not gonna date gamer bros. That's clickbait. But like I'm just gonna be like if they purchase that, like that shows not really understanding what you're paying for, and especially because time is very very precious, and like I spend a lot of time with my girlfriend, and she enjoys me playing PlayStation. What's it called? She enjoys me playing Persona 3 right now, which I go back and forth with. But that's me investing time to replay a game that I've already played in a kind of higher fidelity version of it. But we're not talking higher fidelity like we're talking like God of War or even the You know what? Let's even throw in Street Fighter 6. Okay, not even Street Fighter 6, not even what's it called? Tekken 8. Okay, you know, we've hit that point where it's just kind of like you have to really realize what it is that you're trying to like do. Like I have games where I'm not really buying new games. I'm not going to be buying what's it called? What's that game called that's coming out for Atlas? Metaphor. I really want to play
Oh,
Metaphor, but I'm just gonna be straight up.
Metaphor?
Metaphor,
I'm
Ray
not buying
Fantasio.
Yeah, I am not buying Metaphor right away. I know it's gonna sell well enough that I don't have to worry about some supply chain bullshit, and I'm actually gonna wait till, like, it
Oh.
becomes a greatest hits because the Persona people will make sure it becomes a greatest hits. I'm not talking about the Shimigami people. Shimigami people don't know how to stand for their own stuff. I bought Shimigami 5. I'm gonna say, not the best Shimigami Tensei, but at the same time, like, there's like a level that you'll understand when something like normally happens. And I'm just trying to say that right now. It would be a red flag if somebody just decides, yeah, I'm totally buying that PlayStation 5 the same way that they would probably say, yeah, I'm totally buying a Cybertruck or something like that. I'm just like, no, stay away. Stay
I
away. Just
mean,
listen.
there's something to be said also about making any big purchase unless like what the hell was I talking about recently? I remember I was talking to somebody about like pricing on stuff,
Was it
and
the Floats manual?
oh my god, no,
Oh,
you know what it was? You know what it was? Remember my rant about how much hair costs? How much girls'
yeah.
hair
Oh,
costs?
yes.
Oh
Manuel
yeah.
messaged me a couple days ago
Okay,
saying, "You know how
okay,
much
okay.
women spend on hair
This is
treatments?"
mildly related. The thing I was gonna say was in my head, I'm always like, oh, once things start costing over $300 or $400, it becomes, at least to me, I don't know if I'm just poor. At least when it comes to that much, it becomes like, okay, this has to be thought out. This has to be planned, and we have to make a plan to afford this money if it becomes above 400 or something like that. But the other day, I saw one of my friends. She made
Hmm.
a post where she's all like, "Oh, people in the hair whatever who are familiar with hair or whatever. It's like, what is $75 or $70 a good tip for 430 and like hair stuff?" And I'm like, we'll argue about whether the tip and stuff isn't important, but I was like, what did you do for $400? And then I messaged everyone because I'm like, what is this about? And I was just so incredulous about my friend who I thought was spending a stupid amount on her hair, which I'll be frank with you, I still think it's a stupid amount on anyone's hair. But after a bit, I come to find out that's what all girls pay for their hair.
Yeah, no, girls' hair appointments are not like they not like us, unfortunately.
Oh my,
Or, I should say we not like them. It's a different market. It's like you could see a guy probably pay about like $40 for like a barbershop haircut now, but like it's not even like, hey, let me go to Supercuts and pay like 20 plus $5 if I want to avoid those particular things. Yeah, no, it's not like
it's insane. No, I was talking to uh I won't name names, but like one of my friends who like she replied really late. She only like I didn't even mention this because she replied a couple days ago. But she went to go get her hair bleached, just bleach. But like apparently getting it bleached and getting in apparently the wash costs like $100, but like it cost her almost $700 to get her hair bleached. And I'm
it
like,
really just
she got a
it
she got a
also
PS5
depends.
Pro.
It
She got a
depends who you
PS5
go
Pro in her
to.
hair.
That the other part is it also depends who you go to as well. Like, oh shit, I froze. I probably froze. Okay,
Nope,
I'm
no,
back.
no.
Yep.
You were looking fine on my end.
Okay.
Bleach takes time depending on your hair. Well, apparently it could take $700 worth of time. I don't know. Like, I'm not judging you if you're in the industry and then you're making bank, because I mean, I don't even know if you make bank. I don't know if there's like a weird cut that goes on.
I mean, I
Like,
think
as in.
the shop. I don't know. I know for barbers at least, like the shop will take
Yeah,
a
exactly.
percentage of what you get.
So like I'm not sure what this whole thing is, like how the split goes or whatever, but that's a lot. Like I, I don't know. Then like other people were telling me like how another friend of mine was saying that she spends like $400 like regularly, like once a month. And then another friend of mine was like, she doesn't spend that much, but what she does is like $300 or $400. But her friend of hers like spends 500 a month, and I'm like, a month, a month, 400 or 500, like on these two girls who are like apparently not atypical in doing that. How do you like how like that there have been times in my life where that was my rent, and it's like, how the fuck are you spending that on your hair?
It's I don't know. I think this could be
And I don't
kind
want to
of
be that.
the I think this might be the result of how we put a lot of
The
pressure
Genshin
on
Plus.
uh, oh my god. I feel this is how we put a lot of pressure on like maybe like people being pretty.
Yeah,
Um
yeah. I don't want to judge anyone for spending money however they see fit, but
Man, that's exactly
but
what you were doing.
yeah, I'm gonna keep. But you didn't let me finish. But I'm gonna keep doing it because you know how the people make those things, those memes about like, oh, if you want to save money, stop getting Starbucks. I'm like, guys, I can't Starbucks my
so
way
wait,
out of like
I just got
out of
I just
poorness.
been informed
And I'm like, you probably
just been
could stop getting
informed
your hair done for $500 a month.
I've just been informed that they're just girls. It's just girls.
We're
We
just
we
girls.
we're not gonna understand. I think Delulu God made a really good point. Think of all the Genshin pulls for 500. Think of all where you can, you know, hair that you can style, the haircuts you can pay for, and you know, that it's the exact same thing. And the true girlies will know when you have the girly who does both pay for their haircuts and also drops hundreds on Genshin Impact. So,
Or they also drop hundreds on makeup because I had another friend who was saying about like she's like, yeah, between that and makeup I spend like 1,000. I'm like, okay, everybody should shut the fuck up because my brain's about to explode. But yeah, she says she spends almost about 1,000 like combined, and I'm like, you
maybe
don't make that much.
you
I
know
know
what?
what
You
they
know what,
make.
Manuel?
They
Manuel, you
complain
know
how they
what
have no
you
money.
do?
What?
You should run for president and promise that you're gonna run on uh disrupting the economy that is making too much money off of women on makeup and haircuts. You should say that I will run on the platform of making makeup
And
and
hair
haircuts
affordable again.
way more. Yeah, it says, "OOP, okay, you got me with the makeup. No, you're just girls. It's a thing."
Oh,
But you know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is repeal the pink tax, run on repealing the pink tax, run on lowering the cost of all of these different things for women like makeup and haircuts, and then also run on the platform of legalizing abortion again, and you will
Yes.
become president. Do all of those things. And you know, here's the best thing. You know, here's the thing is, I'm sorry, I have to get into actual politics. Apparently, the thing that's a driver between like men and women, apparently, and this makes me feel kind of stupid because I can't even believe that there's literally some guys that are like, I'm gonna vote for Trump because of economic purposes, okay? Like there's people who dead ass believe listening to a tax dodging like
draft dodging.
uh cook booking like criminal is good with the economy when realistically it's like hey, you really want to make the economy better? You want to really refuel the economy? Go out there, lower the price of all the things women spend money on, and you'll see that people will have enough money to maybe tip other people better instead of having to spend hundreds of thousands and a crazy ass tip on their what's it called, on their hair and on their what's it called, makeup. They'll have that money to support blue collar workers or people in the gig industry better, which means they will fuel inject all of that hair and makeup money to their delivery drivers. They'll push that money back to going out to eat dinner, apparently. I mean, we could also talk about how we could fix the whole tip economy issue, but one thing at a time. I'm just saying, here we go. You run on that platform and you add on legalized abortion, and you could become president. Okay.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
okay.
tip economy is funny because I went to Walmart the other day, and I got
And nails,
I
and nails too. We will lower the price of nails too.
oh my god, I didn't even ask anyone about nails. Oh, the other day I was talking to my mom was telling me she got her nails done, and I'm like, I guess more power to you. It's like, but in my other head I'm like, you spend how much, and you're an old. Okay, this tells me you're an old lady who doesn't go out. Why'd you spend $160 on your nails or whatever? I don't know. Yeah, I want to point out something really interesting that I guess I discovered through my whole little rant about money and hair and all that nonsense is that I think either every girl I've been with in my life has either hid all this from me, maybe knowing that my brain would explode, or they were just low maintenance as fuck. Because like I've never dealt with this, and like I've had a handful of live-in girlfriends and shit like that, and like I would have had a heart attack if someone was like, "Oh yeah, I got my hair done. It was $500." I'd be like, "Like that's it, that's it."
You should not be asking. You should not be asking the girlies why they paid that much. You should be asking why that much has to be charged in the first place.
Yeah, I'm still confused by that entirely. I do remember like I had a like the fiance ex I mentioned in a few stories. Like I remember she got a haircut like 3 times a year, and I do remember thinking it was insane because she would spend like $150, something like that. And I'm not sure if that's just inflation because this is like what 5 years ago, actually more than 5 years, way more than 5 years ago now, like 10 years ago. But but yeah, she would spend that much, and I think that was crazy. But that was like three times a year or so, and it was just a cut. And I've had girlfriends who cut their own hair, which I don't know if I don't know if they. I never really asked them why they did it. I just assumed they like doing it. But I'm just like wondering now, were they just like I can't afford $500, so they just like they're just sitting there doing it themselves. And speaking of which, there was at least one person I talked to during this whole rant, like a friend of mine still, like currently, who mentioned that very same thing, that she cuts her own hair mostly because she doesn't she'll get like a haircut, like she'll get her hair professionally done like once, twice a year. And I'm like, okay, that's reasonable. Why is it still that expensive? I don't get it.
I think we should really see, we're looking
And
at the
become a
bigger scheme of
hairstylist. Yeah,
things.
exactly.
We just have
Hairstylist
to,
nail thing.
but we have to also point out that a girl doing this is not the same as either girl or guy deciding they're going to buy Pro. That is dead ass the worst financial decision ever. Just saying, I'm just standing behind that. Just no.
I mean, I will admit that, like, I still think that the PS5 Pro is above that, like, because then you're just supporting bad decisions. I feel like in the gaming industry in general,
Mhm.
you're endorsing bad, bad moves. But I wasn't joking when I made that joke earlier
Yeah,
about
look,
like they have the PS5 Pro in their hair.
you got good takes here. You have Delulu God saying they're gonna be right back because they're gonna learn how to be a hot hairstylist nail tech so that they can get a girlfriend. And then my girlfriend says gotta get rid of the split ends to promote hair growth. So automatically just doing that, you both are saving money versus playing a PlayStation 5 and you're promoting your hair growth. So you literally spend less than that. We could talk about how we have to change things, but even on paper, the money going there is way more beneficial than buying a PlayStation 5.
I'll never forget my one split hair story is I remember like I never understood that. I used to think that when I was, and this mind you, I was really young. This wasn't like last year. When I was like in high school, late middle schoolish, I was one of those stupid boys who like split ends or something girls made up so they can, blah blah blah, whatever. So I'm like, I've never seen a split end in my life. So I remember I had this one of like then girlfriends, like a high school ish girlfriend, who was like, "Look, this is a split end," and she like dug through her hair until she found one. And she's like, "Look," and it was actually, I'll never forget this. It was actually a literal split end. Like it did this at the end, it like split off. So I grabbed it and I split it all the way up her head. And she got so mad at me.
Yikes, Manuel.
So mad at me. I think she hit. I mean, I have to laugh about like her like abuse, but like, I think she actually was like, "What the? Why would you do this smack?" You know, like in front of everyone at school, and I'm like, I kind of deserve that. But it was funny, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think it would split like that when I did it. I'll never forget that. I was like, "What?" And I was like, and it split all the way up, and I'm like, "Is that hair just gonna be like that forever?"
And that's why she's your ex, Manuel.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying that
Well,
was why,
it
but
hurts. You're
we weren't
crazy.
together.
Why
Yeah, we weren't
how
together
are
that
you
much longer after.
alive?
Okay, I'm keeping a
You're
list of things that have caused
insane.
Manuel's girlfriends to break up with him. It's Keiji Inafune and
I know.
splitting a split end, apparently.
It's because it hurts.
You eventually have to learn that, like, just because some guy thinks that apparently the American gaming market will, like, save Japan, I'm you gotta let go of that. It costs you a girlfriend talking about that.
So all I gotta get I gotta get a girlfriend now. Then I gotta buy a PS5 Pro somehow. Like I don't know how I do. I don't know how I do either on the short term. But if I move fast, I can get it done fast.
Manuel, I know most people are being super reductive when they say it, but I think if you cut out alcohol, you could do both of those things pretty quickly.
I don't drink that much. I don't drink a PS5 Pro.
I don't know, when it comes to convention time, maybe.
Okay, there's a little difference, but then again, I think that's pooled like alcohol money. I don't know. I just find it funny, like like I don't want to keep ragging on girls spending too much money on their looks, but like it reminds me of that. Have you seen that meme where it's all like, guys, I can't balance my budget. My children are starving, and then it's like their budget, and then it's like $1,000 on candles or something like that. It feels like $1,000 on hair and makeup. I'm like, God,
Where
like
they was the joke it was a joke that they couldn't afford their electricity, so the lights are on with the
I gotta buy
candles,
a
and
thousand
then you
dollar
see the
candle.
bill says that it's a candle.
Maybe
no,
don't buy $1,000 in candles. I
no,
don't know.
Josh, it's that one meme. It's like, someone who's good with the economy, help me fix this. And they say, cut down on big number thing. Person goes, no.
Yeah, exactly. That's me with I mean that's me that's me saying to other people about like the hair and makeup. I don't know. Just that being said, I'm sure the pink tax definitely exists, but I remember everyone's always shocked because for the longest time I used to like buying girl razors because for whatever reason at my local Walmart the girl razors for the same thing were cheaper than the guy razors. It was like the one random case where maybe somebody fucked up a label or something or fucked up a pricing internally. But
Yeah,
yeah.
it's genuinely stupid.
Oh,
I'm
you were
I just wow, we like you have people out there that will say that the patriarchy doesn't exist anymore, and it's just kind of
Oh, the
like
patriarchy definitely
how
exists.
how even like how do you come across these things? But I mean, it's just funny how they're all Trump supporters too.
Uh, so are we
Uh,
gonna get are we gonna get political now? Are we gonna talk
You,
about
we already got
dude,
that.
I've been
Yeah.
political since like from the get-go, but just genuinely, I am just trying to get back to my thesis of yeah, if don't buy a PlayStation Pro. PlayStation 5 Pro, I mean,
the very
I would
first? I got an email for like I already forgot what the game's called. There's a new game in the My Time At series, like My Time at Sandrock, My Time at fuck was the first one called?
Oh, Porsche.
yeah,
Porsche, and then I think the new one's called like My Time at like something with an E. It's like I think it's a sci-fi related one. And
yeah.
in that email that I got, which I
Manual,
hope
it's
the
Evershine.
embargo.
It,
Evershine, yeah,
yes, it's already
close
been
enough.
announced.
Okay, good. Sorry, I can just say it. Apparently, that one's coming out for the new Nintendo console,
Hmm.
and I'm like, what do they know?
I mean,
What are they gonna?
they have dev kits, I'd assume, at this point, or they know they can get them
Yeah,
pretty
exactly.
easily. I mean, those are
So yeah,
always shopped around like a year or two before so that they can have launch games. And given how terribly the last one performed on Switch, I'm really looking forward to see how well it does on whatever the successor ends up being called.
oh yeah, like yeah, I was wondering about that too. 'Cause I remember you mentioning that, and I'm like, I love how in the press release they already were just pretty much straight up. It's like, yeah, this ain't coming out on the Switch, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the poor Switch. Like, how long has that been out? I feel like the Switch has been like
7
out
years, 6 months now, I think.
only.
Yeah,
It
7
feels
years,
like a
6
lot
months.
longer, but okay, I
2017.
guess that still makes sense.
Well,
Uh,
I'm gonna be honest. I have not touched my Switch in months.
I pretty much only well, I don't think that's even like I only play my Switch. I play my PC too. I don't have a PS5 though, so I guess that's a given. But I like only play my Switch. I love my
Guys,
Switch.
guys, I think we have to admit something.
What?
We're not able to say anything bad about anything girls do. I'm aware we have gamers of everything, but like right now it's just us guys, so I'm starting to think that maybe video games aren't in our time budget like it used to be.
I mean, I do agree on the time part of things.
I'm unemployed. I have all the time on my hands. I can play as many as I'd like.
Well, I don't know if it's in my head, but there are times when even when I'll have a day off where I can't find time to play games. I'm like, what am I
Right?
doing?
Right?
I'll even like tell myself, I'm like, how did I not have time to play that game? How did I not have time to like play that game I really wanted to? Like,
And I
I,
remember
I,
the unless if I was on stream, and there was the last game I really remember not being on stream for. I feel that it would have been great content if I did, but the game that I went non-stream for, and this was like within the last year or two, okay? I think
Mhm.
it might have been a 2022, 2021 situation, but I kid you not, I played on my PS2 the first what's it called? The first Devil May Cry. And I kid you not, I was like immersed in that shit. Like I was like playing it so hard. And that's like the last time outside of sometimes where I'm stream where I'm just like I am just completely wired in and like not being taken away from that particular moment. I kid you not, those are very far in between right now. I'm like fidgeting, but like yeah, I mean, it is different. I don't know. It's like I genuinely also agree. I would have some times where I have time off, and it's not so much that it's like, damn, why didn't I make time to play? It's also sometimes like I totally forgot I could have made time.
I yeah, I played some games. There's a new Creepy Tale game out. I don't know if anyone knows what Creepy Tale is. It's like this adventure game series. It's like kind of like fairy tale-ish. And it's weird. It's about like kids in danger. It's cool. It's cool as fuck. I love the series.
Mhm,
And I played. There's a new one that's called Some Other Place. I think it's coming out on consoles. I think I could talk about it because I think they said there's no embargo, but it's coming out on consoles at the end of the month. And I beat that whole game like in one sitting. Not that it's easy. It's just like it's a short adventure game, but I fucking love that game. I
mhm.
played the mortuary assistant. Is that what it's called? Like that game is fucking crazy and scary as fuck, but it's also weird because like most of what you do is you just like embalm bodies and then it gets scary. But see, except for that, like I don't have time for like all the cool RPGs. I wish I had time to play Persona 3 again, and Persona 5, and Persona 4, maybe Persona 2 and 1.
I'm gonna be honest. I have the golden on Vita, and I let a friend borrow my Vita because I was not touching my Vita because
Oh my god,
after it was done, I logged in over 130 hours into Persona 4, and that was me also just doing really stupid ass shit on the hardest difficulty, and then after that, I never touched my Vita again. It is a I'm gonna be honest, if you owned a Vita, you only played Persona 4. It was essentially the Persona 4 machine up until they released Golden on PC, and then everyone forever
Okay,
didn't touch their Vitas.
okay. You only cut out for a second there, so I think everyone can
there was
understand what you said.
I don't know about that. There were some good JRPGs kinda. There was some good visual novels. I think the Danganronpa series came out on there first. Um, I think.
Besides that, on the
Uh,
PSP.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know I played a fan sub version on the PSP, but that's like kind of not legal.
Yeah.
But I think it officially came out on the PS Vita, if I'm
Did
not mistaken.
did it get a Monster Hunter?
Um, huh?
Did Vita get a Monster Hunter? I know PSP had Monster Hunter, but had it
I
already
don't
jumped ship
remember,
to the
but like
3DS?
what Vita did get, which nobody but me cares about, it did get a couple exclusive, like as in exclusive to the console, like Orochi games, Muso games, like I think it got like a Samurai Wars one that was exclusive, and I think a Dynasty Wars that was exclusive, and I can't remember what else. I guess you're kind of right, actually. I'm trying to defend it, but I'm like, yeah, not far off. I love my Vita though. Like, I wish that you know what really upset me though, and I think like this is the conversation that I think everyone's already had and everyone's admitted to it. The fact that the memory cards were so expensive, and not only that, like people talk about the memory cards being expensive, which they were also small. Like I think the biggest size was like 128 gigs, which was only or might have, I think that was the biggest size. Whatever it was though, it doesn't matter. It was double the US size because it was only available in Japan, and it cost like $200 or some bullshit.
I guess it didn't matter because you only need enough space for Persona.
I mean that's not wrong. That's not. And then I don't know. Like I do remember when I went to Taiwan for the first time in like 2017, 2016, whatever year that was. It must have been 2017. The Switch was still out. I mean, the Switch was still out. The Switch was already out, I mean to say. But everyone was still rocking their Vitas. I remember that was so weird because Vita kind of had this like, I mean, it wasn't Spot Pass, but it had this thing where you could tell who had a Vita nearby you and what they were playing if you were connected to the internet. And I remember seeing a ton of Vitas all over Taiwan, or specifically Taipei. And I'm like, damn, everyone's still rocking the Vita here. I get like a handful, like maybe 2 or 3 at home. But
it's a different market for different people. Who knows? I mean, that's why you have certain success stories like the Saturn being Japan, even if it wasn't good in the US.
it's funny because like the what is it called? The Dreamcast just had its 25th anniversary, and I'll never forget. First of all, I've always loved the Dream. I've actually gone the opposite direction, where I love the Dreamcast, but as I get older, I'm like, it was alright. But I think everyone and their mother has gone the exact opposite that I just did, where they eat. First of all, everyone ignored it. Don't lie to me and say you were a Dreamcast fan because you weren't. And then
Hey, I
now,
was a Dreamcast fan because of the games that it had, but I mean, again, I wasn't making money at the time. I go off of what is available to me. I have a
it
play.
was so cheap too. Like it was $199 at a time when consoles were still costing like about like $299 or so. Like, and not only that, but like when they discontinued it, and this was official, it wasn't like as in like, like, oh, if you went to a certain store. There were so many unsold Dreamcasts that it dropped to $99. And then if you were lucky, you got it less than that. But you could have still bought it for $100. Like, for years afterwards. Which is, I think, it's why there's still so much new
Oh
old
my
stock.
God.
But it's just like, I don't know. It's just, Dreamcast had its 25th anniversary and everyone's like all raving about it. I'm like, y'all didn't like the Dreamcast. Shut up. Hipsters. It's like the Final Fantasy IX thing. Yeah, JD. No one liked Final Fantasy IX when it came out.
I mean, I point you to the rave review scores, the decent sales, and the fans of it, and somehow you just turn a blind eye to all that.
I mean, admittedly, Final Fantasy IX should have the weird distinction of coming out between 8 and 10. We'd be like, yeah, duh. But no, I mean, like, they came out, like, a year after each other. Like, I think it was 98, 99, 2000, 2001. And it was 8, 9, 10, 11. Like that. Like, they came out, like, literally one after the other. And so yeah, I guess 9 did kind of stuff like that, but 9 sold the worst out of all the ones. Okay, 9 has sold better now, but contemporary sales and it's hard to find these numbers anymore because now they just include all the fucking re-releases. But 9 sold really terribly for its time. No one bought it, so fuck you, GD. Go find those original numbers, which are hard to find. I think it sold like 2 million copies. Which I think I remember like reading somewhere like it sold like a fourth or it sold, yeah, I think 25% of what 8 sold or some shit like that. Anyway, I got off track. I just want to talk shit about 9. 9 was eclipsed by 7. Then 10 came out. I love 10. 10's a different story, but yeah, it's funny because like I was talking to Warren and we're gonna play Soul Silver on the stream starting when we finish Breath of Fire, which I think we'll finish like in 3 weeks, 3 weeks max. We'll probably finish in 2 weeks, but before we settled on playing Pokemon Soul Silver, we were talking about playing Final Fantasy 9, which would have been fun, but I would have just talked so much shit. Were you a Final Fantasy fan, Josh? For Final Fantasy 9?
I haven't really played Final Fantasy 9. I've only played Final Fantasy 7. I played a little bit of 10, and then I have a copy of 15 that I have not yet touched. I have a copy of 7, what's it called? Remake that I have not touched. And yeah, I'm just gonna say I mainly just played 7.
Okay, Manuel. I'm definitely gonna
Yes.
fact check you on Final Fantasy 9 sales numbers. The
Uh-huh.
original PS1 version sold about 5.5 million, I think, across all versions. It sold about half of that in Japan, and according to Square Enix, as of August 2019, worldwide sales for every version of Final Fantasy VIII are only at 9.6 million, and that's every version.
Sounds like bullshit to me. But I guess I was kind of right because I think that 2 million was probably what that's probably where I heard the 2 million was
Oh,
like
wait,
counting
I
only
forgot a
US.
game.
No, that was
I
Japan,
forgot a
Manuel.
game. I played Kingdom
Whatever. But
Hearts 1 and 2, and then part of 3. Oh yeah, and I played the what's it called? The card game on the GBA.
Oh,
The card game on
Oh,
Chain of
GBA.
Chain of
Memories.
Memories.
Yeah, played that game.
I'm
I
sad
love that
that game
game.
doesn't exist anymore. Like, let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. I'm sad that game doesn't exist in its original form anymore because they remade it for the PS2. Because fuck, I forgot his name. One of the fucking evil heartless dudes. Um, you weren't supposed to know who he was, but the reveal is ruined in the PS2 version because he has a voice. And I'm like, oh, it's so and so. We all know who that is because we know his voice. But in the Game Boy, like, it's like, who is that? And then when he reveals himself, it's like, you know, it's like that time I played a game where like you weren't supposed to know that one of the main villains of the game was actually one of the heroes. But I knew it because as soon as the villain, quote unquote, came out, they were both voiced by Kaylee. And I'm like, Kaylee, you ain't fooling no one. Like that was not a surprise. They're both voiced by Kaylee. Am I supposed to be stupid enough to think that Kaylee just voiced two different characters? Which I guess some games they would, but anyway. I lost the plot here. We were talking about fuck the PS5, fuck the PS5 Pro.
Do you want to talk about that other thing you said you were going to talk about today, Manuel?
Oh, I forgot. Do you okay? Do you know who Mana is from Alice Miser? I'm sure you have to know who this. Everyone knows who this is. Mana from Malice Miser and Wadi Swa. It's a very famous. If you don't, you have to at least know them like peripherally because the people like Megumi and me and whatever. They're a very famous VK person, right?
Gacked?
Like, well, see, okay, you're on the right track. So Gact was in a band called Malice Miser, but the main person in Malice Miser is Mana, like the guitarist, and it's a very somebody who dresses like. Kind of like cross dresses a little. Like I don't know what the proper term is there
It
for
looked like a
Jason.
Final Fantasy character.
They all no, and they also pioneered the whole. Well, they did that too. Well, actually, Gak like fun fact, Squall, literally Squall's design was based on one of Gak's live outfits from Alice Miser. That's a real fact. But anyway, Mana though, very famous for Gothic Leader stuff and like also in Moadi Smod. I always make this joke that like somewhere out there in South America or in Latin America, I should say more accurately, somewhere out there in Latin America, there is a teenager who is discovering Malice Miser's 1995, stuff for the first time in their life. And they're making that their entire personality and not realizing how like super, super passe that is the world over. Like it's not really popular in Japan anymore. It's like kind of popular in the US, but it's all like super, super old stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's quite got to that point where it's retro enough. I mean, it's nostalgic. So anyway, they did an event, a tea party in Mexico, that basically became the Willie's chocolate adventure thing, but like the weeb version, where like they paid $600 a ticket or some bullshit like that for like the fucking VIP, and they got fucking fed like a ham sandwich, an apple, and a marzipan. Like the little the little candy things.
That's all they got for $600.
Yes, and like they were served on like on cheap plates and in styrofoam cups, which I think they had Kool-Aid or something weird like that. They had like, I think they had some sort of like mixed drink. Like, I don't mean mixed drink as in alcohol. I mean mixed as in like something you get water and like a powder mix.
What?
Yes, and it's so funny because like this promoter is huge. This promoter like doesn't like they're from Mexico City, and fuck, I forgot what they're called. Like something like I forgot what they're called. I'll have to remember. Tell JD later, but pretty much if you go to any weeb or K-pop event in Mexico City, 9 times out of 10 they're running it. Like they were also doing it. They were involved with a Dreamcatcher concert that night, and they were involved with like some solo guy from Stray Kids had a meet and greet that same venue or some bullshit. And apparently everything else kind of went off kind of without a hitch, but I'm positive the Mana one was just like straight up like a scam. They just like pocketed a ton of money and just like everyone was just like, yeah, fuck this, fuck that. And there's all these memes from it now. One of my favorite ones, like there was a server who fell down right in front of Mana, and there's like a meme where it's like the Pepe meme where he falls down and Mana's just staring over him. But it's so sad and pathetic, and I'm like, why can't we have good things? Also, my friends who went, when I first talked about this story on a stream the other day, they were still in Mexico. My friends got like so fucked up with their flights. Don't ever fly Viva Aerobus in Mexico. A friend of mine, like, well, part of it was her fault, but part of it was the airplane. Like, she missed 2 flights, but like one of them was just because like they like closed the gate on her, even though it was still like an hour or some shit like that. I'm like, hey, the second one sounds kind of a little shady, but they don't have any customer service, and she had to just like buy like 3 tickets basically. Yes, and like another friend of mine, they kept like rescheduling her flight, so he had to stay a whole extra day. And so yeah, everyone just be careful if you go to Mexico City, especially if you want to go visit some VK event.
Okay, Manuel.
Yes,
I'm gonna cut back to you talking about Gak's influence on Squall. I can't find anything for that other than from Gak himself. According to Tetsuya Nomura, River Phoenix was the inspiration for Squall.
What's the outfit, I should say.
Okay.
You got fact checked.
Yeah, I should have been more I should have been more clarification-y. Anyone like I only say this song because I know he wears it in the song. If you look up Malice Miser, oh shit, of course I'm gonna pick the song. Or actually, is this the song? Malice Miser Au revoir? Because that's an easier one to spell. Malice Miser Au revoir. Is he wearing it? He is live.
I'll look up the song, Manuel. I saw
The
it
song's called
posted-
Je te veux. Oh, this is one. If you look Au revoir live, he's wearing the Squall outfit.
Okay.
Okay, he took off the jacket off. I think he took the jacket off of one thing, but yeah.
Okay, keep going, Manuel. That was all I had to fact check you on.
Everyone go. We're all gonna sit here and watch.
Not again, Manuel. I will end this stream.
I'm watching it right now. I love this song. I remember like
Mana, Mexico City. Come on, Manuel. Don't fly Viva Airbus, apparently.
Yeah, it's terrible. Aerobus. But yeah, it's terrible. Like they scam people, and it still amazes me that people like Mana have such a draw in Latin America. It's like, how do I say this? It reminds me of like, do you know how like in Brazil they're still selling the Sega Master System?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't like. How are they still working on Web 1.1, 1.0 or something? I'm just confused on how they're only discovering Malice Miser now. Anyway, if anyone's from Latin America and wants to explain this to me, please let me know. But shady promoters in Mexico, nothing good comes out of Mexico. I can say that because I'm Mexican.
Hey, my family came out of there.
So did mine. I could say that. But no, I was gonna make a joke that several tours in the past have like fucked up there. I think Hyde had a tour there that got canceled like partway through and he was stranded. And very famously, when I was really into the scene and they did a show in LA, so it was part of the tour, there was this band called Blood, a VK band called Blood. They were super big in the US if you were a fucking VK weeb in the early 2000s, because even before Anime Expo like kind of had like VK concerts for a hot minute, like in the 2010s, um, the VK bands would like kind of fund themselves and then play in the battle of the bands, which is I always thought was bullshit because it would be like real established Japanese bands and then a weeb anime cover group. You know, it's like who do you think's gonna win? Well, actually, it really did depend, but still, it's like that was not really fair. But when Blood went to Mexico, they had a shady promoter who literally just stole all their money and their equipment and just disappeared.
What?
Yes, like literally did a runner, just was gone. And like this is before the days of Kickstarter, so like they had to just be like, guys, we set up a PayPal address. If you want to help Blood get out of Mexico, they are like I booked like some random fan let them stay at their house, and they basically had to be like they need to go back to the Japan, but we have no money. And yes, I think the fans did come to. Well, I think the fans came together with only so much money, and then they did like a show, and then at the show they collected more money and they flew back to Japan. But yeah, the nothing can come out of Mexico. Don't go to Mexico. That's the moral of the story. I didn't know I was going there, but there you go.
Don't know if I can how to respond to that, Manuel.
I thought Fire Festival was bad.
I mean,
Honestly,
at least they weren't stranded on an island. They were at least stranded in a city.
yeah, and and I love Mexico. I used to love Mexico City. Mexico City is also like the fucking what's it called? It's the gentrification capital of Mexico. Well, actually, would that be Cancun? But I don't know. Speaking of which, does anyone remember, or by anyone, I mean JD, remember when we had fucking Molly on the other day, and she was we were talking about going to Mexico, and she was all like, "Manuel, I don't even know how many times you've been, but I'm sure I've been there more than you." And that really pissed me off because I knew that she didn't mean like, "Oh, I fucking went to like Ensenada or some bullshit like that." She fucking went to fucking Cancun like every year with her family or some, you know, some like rich middle class white thing. Anyway, that's my complaint. When the revolution comes, we're eating Molly too. And we're eating anyone about the PS5. Let's circle back around. Let's start wrapping this up. What else do
I
we have to
don't
talk about?
know. I don't think we have more to talk about the PS5. I mean,
Okay,
I just
I just
wanna-
want
I
to make
just-
sure to add on to this. A to J does not endorse cannibalism.
I mean, eating the rich isn't cannibalism. It's setting things straight.
I definitely feel that we need a better way of dealing with wealth redistribution, or at least dealing with a way where there are people that actually pay for their taxes instead of making up some like trickle economics Reagan era bullshit that they've been using for years. Um, but at the same time, we have to like make sure people understand that they're not like um what's it called, impoverished millionaires,
Oh,
like genuinely
temporarily embarrassed millionaires, I believe is the term you're looking for.
temporarily embarrassed. um yeah, no, I think we just have to find a way to come together on some things. The taxes, I understand, are going to be tough. I think more than anything, for the people that like to say shit about like, oh, I want to vote for the economy, we have to make them understand, why not universal healthcare? Just come on, like our taxes already pay for it, especially when they're talking about like, oh, I don't want somebody who's not working to not be paying for it, and it's just kind of like that's already happening, and it's way cheaper and it works way better. So like, and it's there if you ever need it, but if we make it like if we make it universal, then you'll have it. I mean, the only people who get upset about this are all those private insurance companies. I feel that if we did this, this would help a F ton, you know, without dealing with the whole thing right away, because it's a stupid can of worms.
But then you have all the people who make like 30K a year who are like, no, but what if I become a millionaire one day?
Yeah,
No, well,
that's
that's kind of the point. Also,
And
it's
I'm
like
like,
you're
no,
poor,
man.
bro.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like, bro, come on. Like you're the person suffering the most. I've been there. I guess it's definitely still there. Just come on, man. See the light.
Yeah, we just need them to we just need to make the venues better, and we need to make it harder. Both my metaphor and apparently literally based on everything we heard about what happened in Mexico, that we need to make our venues better
In
for
Minecraft.
you
Guillotines
know.
are a thing. I'm ready to read the chat now. It's funny because like how do I say this? Am I gonna get this political? Uh, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I like to think I'm not. I really like to think I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Oh my god, I swear to God, I'm not.
Okay, Manuel, if you're prefacing it this much, just don't say it. Let's just move
But
on.
man, that was a very conveniently timed second assassination attempt, wasn't it?
And you said it,
Wait,
Manuel.
what's the conspiracy about this well-timed failed assassination
Exactly,
attempt?
because it's like he had like he had like the worst week in the fucking election so
Are you
far.
are you telling me that there are some people who are just gonna get a hard on for the fact that like,
Yes, because
look at him dodging
yeah,
like
exactly.
gunfire? What about the woman? Okay, what about the woman who died waiting on an abortion for a pregnancy that she wasn't gonna be able to afford back in 2022, where literally the landmark decision made it so that she was forced to use like here's the thing, the prescription she was used, not prescription, there was a two-pill system abortion that you could do yourself that had a very low fail rate, a very low fail rate. And not only could she not make it in time for the abortion, so they had to tell her to use these two pills. Unfortunately, she drew bad. She drew bad on the RNG, so she got sick because she essentially had to go and get additional tissue taken out of her womb. And unfortunately, because she didn't live close by and because it was too late, she had to go to hospital. And when she was in hospital, unfortunately, the doctor said they weren't going to do anything until she was practically near dead so that they can perform an emergency abortion. And unfortunately,
Oh yeah, I remember the story.
they took too long. They took too long even then, and that's just a recorded case of which they said death was preventable. And there are other cases. There's another account coming in for an official like big lawsuit. So I'm just saying, what what is it that draws you to vote more for the billionaire person who was shot at by a crazy person, okay, just a crazy person, you know, or are you going to understand that, whether
Well,
it's direct or not, someone could die if they are not allowed that particular emergency abortion.
unf-
And the reason that it was not that they didn't go through with it was that they were afraid that if they didn't perform the emergency procedure at the right time or not, they could face criminal
yeah.
charges for trying to help someone. I'm like, bruh, if there's anything that should drive you more to vote, it should be the fact that someone who was literally doing things by the rules, wanted to elevate themselves in lives, had an unexpected pregnancy, and then that happened. Versus, I'm sorry, some fucking weirdo who decided he was gonna lead a one-man army into fucking Ukraine because apparently
Yeah.
that was the turn of the century thing, and then see him also have been a Trump supporter at one point. I'm sorry, this is trash taking itself out. So I'm pretty sure if any base is like motivated by this, I'm sorry, it is garbage. Like genuinely, just garbage.
And it's funny because like the this whole recent attempt and everything, it kind of drowned out. Remember remember the debate? Remember eating pets?
Oh no, believe me, Manuel,
No,
that's still going.
no. This does not change the conversation. His little lie is leading schools to get
Oh
bomb
my
threats in
god,
Ohio.
yes. He just can't. I'll never like. It's funny because like I was at a concert while that was happening. It was actually during the podcast. I think. Well, we didn't do the podcast. It was during the UPZ time, and I was at a concert, and I was seeing all my friends were like, "No, he did not just say that," and I'm like, "Saying what?" And then like somebody already clipped it, and they were passing the clip around where it's all like, I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like somebody get him off the stage. Like
Here's the
it would
thing.
almost be like I
The
wouldn't say funny, but it would almost be like ha, like cynical old crazy grandpa, like Fox News grandpa. But like it's affecting people's lives because he said it.
I'm sorry. It's just crazy people are just outing themselves as being crazy. If crazy is following Trump, I think it's just very easy. It's making it so easy walls to curb stop on these people, saying that they're all weird. The weird is attracting the weird. We just had Billie Eilish today and her fucking brother both say that they're gonna vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz because they're voting like their lives are on the line and they can't let crazy people into office.
Oh my god!
So,
And what's up with what's up with when Taylor? Okay, it's whatever that Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala Harris, but what was up with fucking Elon Musk? What is his like?
Breeding fetish.
Elon Musk saying that he will like impregnate
Yes,
her.
and then I went to his Twitter
He
because
said the
I
same
don't.
shit to what's
I
her
didn't-
face, Ocasio-Cortez.
I didn't realize that Elon Musk had gone that far off the deep end that he's been
Bro,
he's
he's always
mad.
been off the deep end.
Like, okay, well, yeah, he says some crazy things, but like his whole Twitter wall right now is nothing but like the most unhinged, insane, like right-wing stuff right now. I'm like, bro, calm down.
Tesla would have the inverse effect. You know, like if what's his name? If Jeff Bezos died, Amazon stock would plummet, even though Jeff Bezos almost is fuck all to do with Amazon right now. Well, if Elon Musk were to die tomorrow, Tesla stock would double. I bet you Tesla stock would double because it gives them the best excuse to have a new CEO and owner to like, you know, run their decisions.
I went to a new McDonald's in Carson. And if you don't know Carson, it's not like it's a suburb, but it's like very like, you know, lower middle class suburb. And somebody was in the drive-thru with the fucking Cybertruck, and I'm like, what kind of financial decisions are you making, person, in the Cybertruck? It's like you bought a Cybertruck, but like, I don't know, man.
Hey,
But yeah,
sometimes that
it's
fast
like
food just hits different, Manuel.
they want that McDonald's, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I call that the attempted on the other side. It's almost like, bro, you are instigating the violence because
What is
like
it?
Oh, no,
well,
I was just saying, you
here's
want to
the thing.
wrapping up? We
Here's
were
the
supposed to be
funny
doing
thing.
that 10 minutes ago.
He said, I didn't
wanna
see that.
know-
I wouldn't doubt it.
No, he did. I saw the post.
I want to know when it says Elon Musk is complaining about how no one attempted on the other side. I want to know what does he mean by the other side, because both people, like the first person who attempted on him was like a Republican supporter at the time that they what's it called, decide to do the deed, and the other one was technically a Trump voter back in 2016 and then became a like more liberal than left-leaning like sociopath. So like I want to be sure when he's asking what about the ones on the other side, I'm sorry, it's literally coming from the same side. It's literally all conservative, like brain rot right-wing Republicans. I don't know what he's trying to say. No one on the left has really done anything to try and take out Trump, so it's kind of dumb.
Okay, can we start wrapping up, please?
Yeah,
We've gotten it out of
everyone
our
go out and vote. Everyone go out and vote this November. Like honestly, like I said it before, if you're gonna vote for Trump, I'm still gonna judge you, but do you. You know, you should still go out and vote. Everyone go out and vote. I don't really care. I do care, but like I mean, like I'm not gonna. I won't personally do anything but judge you.
Register and vote. I'll have to say I can't do anything more than judge you because
Yeah, exactly.
I will judge you hard, but it's your decision to make. Everyone has literally just said, do your own research,
Yeah.
get register to vote,
Yeah,
and do your own research, because if there's one thing that we can judge you more than who you vote for, we can definitely
If you didn't
say
vote.
if you didn't vote, fuck up. You have no reason to complain about anything.
Exactly.
If you didn't vote, shut the fuck up. You know.
Yeah,
shut
if
up
you don't vote, I'll beat you up. Like,
if you do not make your voice heard, please do not continue to make. Don't even think that your voice could be heard. Okay.
I want to say that was a joke I made, because I do think it's technically a crime to say what I just said. even like, yeah, I just want to reiterate that was a joke. I will not harm anyone who does not vote.
You're lame. You were threatening violence, sir. You were threatening violence.
I will beat you up. I'll beat myself up. Fuck it up. Fuck all.
Do you know who?
Can I vote for
violence
Kanye?
if
Oh
you
my
didn't
god,
vote?
I'll vote for Kanye.
Do you know who threatened violence if you didn't vote?
Who?
P. Diddy. and now he's convicted. So I'm just saying. I'm just.
Oh
I
my
mean, different
god.
charges, but sure.
Yeah, did R. Kelly is R. Kelly in jail? Like
He's in jail now.
okay, because I was just curious. Oh shit, my keyboard's falling. Shit. Okay.
Wait, who are we talking about? I got confused. It says, "Can I vote Kanye?" Are we talking about R. Kelly? Who
Well,
are we talking about?
because you mentioned P Diddy, and then it reminded me, like, did R. Kelly ever get like sentenced?
Oh yeah. He's jail now.
I just remember his whole like I'm fine from, and I'll never get some of these. Honestly, I guess I'd only heard about P Diddy, but like, I mean, R. Kelly's one that like when I was a child, like there were jokes in like I'm not asking why kids were joking about this, but there were jokes on the fucking playground about like, oh yeah, R. Kelly pees on kids or whatever, because like I think the video had surfaced around that time, like in the 90s. So like, and the girl was like 16 or some shit, and I'm like, everyone knew. I'm just confused what it took 30 years for, or however many years it was. Diddy, I don't know. Is anyone gonna go after Drake one of these days? Come on. I feel like that's another one that everyone knows. That everyone's just
I feel. I mean, they already started like making it more apparent in a song that apparently like was.
Oh yeah, the one
absolute
you referenced earlier. Yeah,
Not like us.
fire, apparently.
not like us. But yeah, it's like everyone knows, and it's like what? It's one of those inside jokes, and it's been that way for years. Remember when? Well, I don't know if you remember, but like I had an ex-girlfriend who used to like watching Degrassi, and I just remember like I remember watching Degrassi, and I watched it in real time when like I'm like, wait, that fucking Jimmy in the wheelchair is like he's famous now? Like what the hell? In case you've never seen Degrassi, he gets school shootered, and he ends up in a wheelchair in the show. Spoiler alert if you've never seen it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Manuel.
So anyway.
I've asked you 5 times now. Can we please wrap up?
Let me see. Kelly MP Diddy contest in prison gonna be lit. The Dave Chappelle sketch about R. Kelly. Drake likes Anyway, yeah, I don't know about Drake, man. I'm just glad what's her face got married.
Millie Bobby
her
Brown.
name? Yeah, I think you knew exactly what I was talking about.
Register and vote. Go register. Vote for who you want to vote. Make your voice heard.
And everyone go watch. I think I'm gonna start watching Rings of Power soon. Like I watched the first couple episodes, but I'm gonna watch the whole thing soon. Now it's getting there. Maybe we'll do another fantasy episode one of these end of the month or something. We'll see. Anyways, see you guys later. Tomorrow's Breath of Fire 3. There's no drink talk roll this weekend, but next weekend's more UPZ, and I think we'll have a more solid topic. I have some on the back burner that I've been thinking about, and we'll talk about them later. But it won't just be a weird PS5 rant that goes on for like 45 minutes with a lot of asides. I promise. We'll see.
Can I not?
Or I don't. I don't know.
Also-
Maybe I don't promise.
Do you know what? Do you know what you can tell about someone who doesn't vote?
Huh.
They probably think it's a good choice to PlayStation 5 Pro.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Also, I forgot on Sunday, How and JD will be streaming Golden Sun.
Golden Sunday.
And I guess we have a lot of shit going on because on the 20th, if you're a Spotify or Apple listener, I think we might have it on iHeartRadio. I don't remember if that got approved yet. But if you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can check out our new audio only podcast, Reading the Wrong Way, which is about manga. It's a monthly book it's a manga of the month podcast. And this month we're talking about Magic Knight Rayearth. And next month we're talking about Uzumaki. So yeah, tune in.
Hey, you actually remembered it this time, Manuel.
Yes.
It took you like 5 takes to say month instead of week.
Oh, did I say? Yeah, I kept saying week, didn't I?
Yes.
It's not week. It's manga, because it's like the book club of the month, but a manga. That's its whole shtick. And honestly, we could not do another weekly one if we tried. It would just be too much effort, mainly because there's reading involved. But yeah. Anyways, thank y'all for watching. Peace out. See you tomorrow. Peace.